All right, Travis from the forum requested that he wanted some demonstration of talking to bitches, and I didn't realize these girls would be bitches. They're like webcam girls from Craigslist or something like that, or basically they're used to taking money from guys and being in charge of the interaction. So we're going to try and record this on the phone. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but we'll just kind of get an idea of what it's like talking to real life bitches and how you would try to manage them. Okay, so we'll call. Answer. Shut up, Tally. It's ringing. Why do you waste my time? How come whenever you want something to happen, it doesn't happen? That's my question. Fucking people always try to... Every time you try to make something happen, the rule of thumb is it won't happen. It'll turn into disaster. I don't think you're going to get your chance, Travo. And that's how you handle bitches. You just don't talk to them. That's the end of that. Okay, welcome to another episode of Manhood Academy Podcasting. We're giving you another live classroom experience. We have two students with us. One of them is super secretive and doesn't talk. The other one boggles, the world famous forum boggles. We have Dr. Ladice in his house. Whoop, 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 whoop. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Yeah. And Bun Bun. Welcome everybody. So let's just, before we go out anywhere, before we go to the pool, before we go and do anything, let's just talk a little bit about how things are going. Boggles, why don't you start off? What's going on, man?
The usual work and home.
The usual work and home. And,
been writing my blogs every now and then.
Every now and then. Awesome. So not now and now and now and now
well,
and
every
now,
other
just
day.
Every now and then.
Every other day.
Awesome. Or every other week.
No, I at least write 2 to 3 times a week.
Awesome.
And
way to keep me entertained.
And I write in the chat on the forum, or I type.
You write in the chat.
I type in the chat.
You type in the chat.
I chat in the chat.
So he's got a chat room going. Well, that's awesome.
But yeah, that's it. Once in a while, I do express something. I do write something interesting, but I can never really say it when I'm with real people.
So you can never talk with real people. Yeah. So the chat room people are fake people, is what you're saying.
I mean, I could type it out when I think and say
So you don't think when you're talking that you're trying to tell everybody?
Huh? I never thought of it that way.
That's an amazing experience. Is that it?
Yeah, I can.
That's amazing.
I'll have something interesting to say every now and then when I'm typing, but when I'm talking real time.
Awesome.
It's not that. I don't know. Especially with you looking at me.
Great. Just don't look at people. That's amazing. Okay, since he's being totally useless for turn that shit off. Since he's being totally useless for our podcast, can we cover a couple things before we leave out of here? Just real quick, Dr. Ladice. I wanted to talk about the mindset for talking to people. Because I know, I started considering, the students, when they talk to people, when they start talking to strangers, they have, this, paralyzation mindset. They start thinking, in steps, what's the first step? What do I do now? So, or they think, oh, this person's intimidating. So they have, all these different kind of mindsets which cause either paralyzation, fear, they can't talk to anybody, or they can say things, but they're just so confused about what to say that it just comes out this cacophony of garbage.
The problem is when you don't have a lot of experience talking to people. I mean, you might have friends or other people that you talk to at school or work, but you really don't have a lot of social experience. You definitely spend a lot of time thinking about what you should be saying, what you should be doing, instead of just doing things. And there's no way around that except through gradually...
Acclimating yourself? Well, I would say two things.
Not even acclimating yourself, but more
I would say the more practice you get, the more, and also more importantly than practicing, I think, is having that roadmap, having that direction, like knowing exactly what to do. Like, what should you be talking to with a stranger about? What should you start off saying? You know, it seems like such a daunting task. You think if you have no idea of anything about social interaction, you go, I need to talk to this stranger and get him interested. What do? Right? It just seems like a daunting thing. But I think if you understand, okay, this person needs pleasure. They need a pleasurable experience. It gives you kind of like a roadmap of what you should be doing. So that's number one. And then number two, like you said, is the experience. Like the more you practice that, like let's just say you were to give a girl a compliment. You were going to go up to a girl and say, hey, I like your hair. Just like a very simple thing. And you got an approving response. She said, oh, thank you very much. And they smiled, and so you felt good because you got a pleasurable response back. So if you just said for the rest of your life, you know, I like your hair, for every girl you've met, you get a pleasurable response back. Eventually, you'd be comfortable, number one, approaching a girl, and number two, just having the girl stand next to you. There wouldn't be that freeze up where you just wouldn't know exactly what to say, or at least you would know, hey, I could give a girl a compliment, and something positive will happen. I'll get a good reaction. Yeah. So at the very least, you have some experience that kind of translates into knowing what to do, having a direction, knowing where to go, knowing what to say, etc.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Well, I'm glad that makes sense to you. Now I want to talk about, instead of like their mindset, because we know their mindsets are all over the place, all kinds of confusion. What's your mindset? Like, let's say you just met somebody. Somebody walked in the door. You didn't know them. What is your thought process, or what do you think about when you're first talking to them? Do you have like, do you just fear and freeze up and go, oh, I don't know what to say? Oh, hold on, it's our bitches. Let's pause this and let's talk to bitches. Yeah, let's see if we can get some bitch experience. Hello. Yeah. To accept, press 1. Jenna. Jenna.
Hello. What's going on?
Jenna, did you get the address? Jenna, did you get the address I sent you? Oh my God, you sound like you're underwater.
No, I'm in the pool, but I'm not in the water.
Yeah, take the phone out of your throat. It sounds like it's down your throat. Hold it away from your face.
I'm not down my throat.
You're funny. Hey, did you get the address? I'm gonna smack your phone. Did you get?
I'm dead.
Are you done? Did you get the address? I texted you?
No, I've been in the pool. I wasn't checking my phone.
You should be checking your phone. When your guy texts you with something, how do you know it's not like a super recipe to a pumpkin pie or something awesome? If your man's texting you, you should be diving out of that pool and like getting it on the first buzz of that text.
I know, if I don't hear my phone, why should I run out? I'm not going to be some paranoid bitch looking at my phone every 5 minutes. I'm not that.
I like it when you're a paranoid bitch. That's hot. That turns me on.
Oh, shit. I think you got one.
The more paranoia, the better.
Oh, okay, then I'll be some freak paranoid girl.
Jenna.
What's sidekick?
Hey, Jenna Bobena. Do you have Jenna, my favorite outfit is like a shirt with like a cool slogan on it. It says like, I love hamsters, and then maybe like a skirt, like boots, something like that. Do you have something along those lines? What do you got?
Well, hey, did I tell you that I have a whole sock drawer full of really, really long, cute stuff?
Oh, awesome! No, I don't like. Shut up! I don't like the tube socks. I like the thin, girly socks. Those look hot. Do you have those?
Like pets, like they're like pet socks.
No, they're like chicks. Like you would know a chick wears them. It's not like you just borrowed a dude's like athletic socks.
No, I don't do that. I have my own socks.
Yeah, good. I don't want you to look like a dude. I'd rather you look like a chick.
Yeah.
Your hair's not butched up, is it? You haven't shaved your hair off like Sigourney Weaver, right? It's like long.
You get my head anytime soon. I love my beautiful hair.
Oh, sweet. Because I want to have something to grip onto when I like have you up against the front door or something like that. It's good to have that grip.
What?
It's good to have the grip. When you're up against the front door, your doggy style or something like that, you want to be able to hold on to the hair. You don't want to have like short hair. You can't hold on to anything.
Yeah, exactly. Just like, we can't do the same to you if you have short hair. I know. I like a guy with long hair.
No, you're definitely not holding my hair. You're going to be smoking crack if you think that's happening.
I'm getting splashed by little kids. Hold on.
What? I think she's...
These kids are jumping in the pool.
Just push them in the pool. Push them in the pool. They're cutting into our phone time. They're cutting into our romantic time.
I know, but they're already jumping in the pool. I can't, they send balls at us now.
You're supposed to not have kids yet. You're too young to have kids. Hey, Jenna.
Oh, what?
Jenna.
What?
Hey, my buddy just arrived.
Oh, really? Is he hot?
Yeah, he's super hot. But he's got a really tiny penis. It's only 1 inch long.
Okay. Oh, actually, Ariana likes that. Why would you like that? Oh, she likes Asian penises.
She likes Asian penises? Does she like slant eyes and Asian penises?
I said, is he Asian?
I'll check. No, his balls look white. His balls look white. They don't look Asian.
Okay, well then that's all good.
Jenna, how long is it going to take you to get here? You're taking forever.
What time is it?
It's 2 o'clock.
No,
You
it's
should,
2:09.
it's 2 o'clock.
I know, but we're still laying out by the pool.
Well, get your ass up and get over here. We got the pool over here. That's the whole point of having the pool and the barbecue.
I don't know if we have a ride. Because we both,
See that? Jenna, see that thing on the top of your hand? It's called a thumb. Stick it out on the road and start hitchhiking.
I'm done.
What about your taxi? They've invented taxis and also rollerblades. If you have rollerblades, it's good exercise for you.
Why would we do that to see you? Yeah, why would I spend $100 on a taxi to go see somebody I don't know?
Hey, your friend, could you punch her in the face for me? Because I'm talking to you. Thanks.
Hey, how do you know which one's Jenna and which one's Abby?
Well, I'm assuming that Jenna is the hot one that isn't acting bitchy, and the other one is like off on her own tangent doing whatever.
Yeah, I really want to go see you now.
Jenna, do you want to smack on your ass?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, well then you're not going to get it.
Well, then I'll do it.
No, she's not good at that.
I don't need you.
She's not good at that. Hey,
Because you and that,
hey Jenna. Hey Jenna,
Yeah?
are you here yet?
What? What?
Are you here yet?
Am I there? Yeah, I just left the pool and I'm like 1 minute away.
Okay, that's awesome.
How old are you? Are you really 30?
Like about 47 and a half, and I'm in a wheelchair. We're probably going to be talking about Social Security.
Already in a wheelchair. How bad care did you take of yourself? Like, honestly, really? You're 47 in a wheelchair? How much did you party? How much did you party?
Are you guys retarded? Put Jenna back on. Get rid of the retarded girls and put Jenna back on.
Yeah, what's up?
Oh, hey, is this Ariana?
Yeah, hey.
Awesome. I can't.
You're talking to both of us.
I can't wait to not talk to you again. Where's Jenna?
Are you drunk?
Hi.
He totally
So
is.
chaotic. This is so chaotic. Is there any way you could pull your head out of your ass and put Jenna back on?
This is Jenna.
Jenna, hi. I missed you.
I miss you too.
I can't wait to hold your hands and make out with you.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's going to be so special. You move so slow. Oh, hey.
Yeah, we just made fun right down to anything.
Hey, Jenna.
Yeah.
Guess what? It's my good friend Fred. He's here. Hey, Fred.
Hello?
What's going on, Fred?
Am I the small penis friend?
Yeah, you're the small penis friend. Hey, this is Fred. This is Fred with a small penis.
What?
This is Fred. He's here with his small penis. Say hi, Fred.
My penis says hi. It's really small though, so that's...
Hi.
Howdy ho!
Howdy ho, penis. Howdy ho, partner.
You sound so yummy. It's turning me on.
I know. Are you wet right now?
Yeah, I'm in the pool. What do you think?
That is hot.
Okay, I got another call, but I'll call you back.
Yeah, whatever. And, okay, well, there you go, Travis. I try to demonstrate some things, but it was really hard because, number one, they're in a pool. It's all fucking chaotic. It's very hard to hear them. I don't even know if it was even clear or recorded, but I tried to show you some exaggerated application of pain. Like, I normally wouldn't scream that loud, but I was worried about the sound quality, so I was trying to talk super loud and be super definite, super articulate, so you could hear each sound I was making, so it would be clear. But I don't know if you picked up on that, but in some things they're generally being disrespectful. They're trying to be cool. She's got her friend next to her, which makes her extra sarcastic. She's going to try and play too cool for school. So that type of behavior you're going to want to put in check immediately. By whatever means that's covered in the Principles of Social Interaction book as far as applying pain goes, things like that. Okay, so let's go back to what, thanks for that interruption from bitches. Let's go back real quick to Dr. Ladice when he talks about his mindset. So let's say a stranger came in.
I like how I'm talking about my mindset.
Your mindset. What is your mindset, bro?
Well, look, when I go to the gym, dude, I know I'm
when you're in
the ring, 10%. Okay?
Well,
every time.
Here's the thing. These students are so retarded. They think you have like some super pro, Casanova, hardcore, dynamics, Tony Robbins mindset. So we need to spell that.
I do.
You do? You do?
I do.
Oh, fuck. I don't even have that mindset. So what's your mindset? I walk out there
like, I'm going to conquer.
When I see this person, I'm going to fucking look in their eyes and subdue them under my authority just by looking at them, by challenging them with my gaze, using my finger gestures, sideways head slant. Like, hey,
Mark, handshake if you need to.
Hey, Mark, handshake.
For a stubborn opponent, you have to.
A stubborn opponent, sometimes you have to reach out, grab their hand, and force your shoulder into their shoulder. Just to kind of like give them a little shove and let them know who's the boss. It's about alpha dogs, bro. Okay, enough of that nonsense now. Can you give us what do you think about, what is your mindset when you're talking to a stranger? Let's say you see a stranger walk in the door, and they go, hey, I am Bill. What is your mindset talking about?
I'll tell you my mind.
Tell me, give me some candid insight into what's going through your head as you see Bill walking.
I'm looking at this person and I'm going, what is their purpose to me?
What is their purpose to you?
I mean, I'm not.
So
really
you're not immediately thinking, how can I make Bill happy?
No.
How can I please Bill?
No.
Oh, that's interesting. Interesting.
No. I'm usually thinking. I mean, I'm not consciously going, what is their purpose?
Right.
But I mean, you as a student, you could definitely ask yourself, why am I talking to this person? What do they mean to me? What use are they to me?
So just to kind of make it a little more practical,
yes,
so you give yourself a little guideline,
and
I guess.
Essentially, everybody is looking at other people, though, with the what purpose is.
Why am I talking to this person, really? That's what they're asking, why am I talking to this person?
And it's really the difference probably.
And I think the answer is really the difference.
Right.
Because some people are going, well, I'm talking to this person to try and make them happy, to do whatever I can.
So they'll be nice.
So they'll like me.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas, I don't think you're thinking that. You're not saying, do everything I can to make them like me.
Right. I'm thinking more along the lines of either I want to learn something from them, I want to, or I want to have a good time with them.
I have this kind of thing like I want to have a mutual good experience with them. So it doesn't just mean like I do want them to be happy. I want them to like me, but I don't want them to like me at the cost of me not liking them or me not having a good experience. Like if I'm not having a good experience, I feel like I don't care what they think. If they cause me to have a bad experience, I will not be concerned with making them have a good experience.
Yep.
Like let's say Bill came in and he was just like, hey, where's the drink? Where's the fridge? Like I didn't know Bill. He just came in. Let's say he was my Margo's friend. He was Indian. And he just, that which made it double worse. So he's Indian. He comes in and he just goes, hey, where's the fridge? I want a drink. Like immediately. Now, when I first saw him come in, I would think, okay, who's a stranger? Let's get to know him. Let's have a mutually good experience. But as soon as he said, hey, where's the fridge? Let me have a drink. Immediately, I would think in my head, he's violating my expectation. I wouldn't think, my immediate reaction would be, how do I make him happy? How do I get to the fridge quickly? How do I get him a drink and meet his expectation? I would immediately be considering my expectation. Like, is it okay for him to ask to get a drink, first of all? No, he doesn't know me, so no, it's not okay. So to make a demand of me, especially in my own house, I would think he was insane. So I would maybe tell him to sit down and shut the fuck up. I would tell him, you know where you're at? This isn't a 7-Eleven. Are you out of your mind? So I would apply some type of pain to let him know, you just violated my expectation. Because he probably doesn't know that. For him to ask and come into a house, a stranger he doesn't know, to say, hey, where's the fridge, give me a drink, he probably isn't even aware. Nobody's made him aware of that's a dysfunctional expectation to have. Because he might even be able to get away with it with some of his friends. If everybody allows it, that means he's getting away with it. So, if I'm the first person to tell him, hey, and I don't just go, I could tell him directly, I go, that's not allowable. I don't allow you to act like that in here. I could say it and be very direct like that. But I would try to apply something even more painful to make him aware of it. Like I would go, are you fucking crazy? Are you out of your mind? Or get the fuck out of here. Or something, something along those lines. It's just like very abruptly let him know, this is a painful experience now. I'm going to give you a painful experience. Versus, I'm going to try to accommodate your dysfunction. I wouldn't try to go, well, you should maybe ask to, this is a house like that. Like, I wouldn't be so accommodating. Like that. So, that's me initially because I'm realizing when somebody's violating your expectations, the quickest way to get them to meet your expectation or respect your expectations is to apply that pain quickly and sharply. So I wouldn't just let it slide. I wouldn't even just ignore it, Or maybe I would fight it. Or maybe it'd be really good to just not even pay, excuse me, not even pay attention to him. Just like completely tune him out. So your mindset is?
I'm looking for what's the purpose of me talking to this person. That's why, like, when old ladies talk to me in the supermarket line, I'm like, how can I exit this conversation as soon as possible and never enter it again? Because I'm like, there's no purpose here. This is painful for me just doing it.
Right.
Versus other people, like, let's say...
Can you speak up, please?
Yeah, we'll wait for the water. You want to wait for the water?
Go ahead, hurry up. What's she doing?
I don't know.
Go on, turn off the water. Go.
Alright, don't worry, it's on like 2x speed. It'll get
Oh,
there in like
I'm gonna edit it out anyway. Good.
Alright, so, where was I at? I'm thinking about...
Mindset, so you're talking to the old lady or something?
Talking to the old lady, it's like, you don't want to talk to this person. This is the person you don't want to talk to, so, you want to... Because there's no purpose there. I mean, there might be. It might be like your grandma.
Right.
Then it's a totally different story. Or it might be like a friend's party and it's their relatives, so you want to like, have some kind of enjoyable experience just because that facilitates your friendship with the person who's this person's related.
Right.
So there's a lot of different reasons why you'd be talking to someone, but at my most selfish, I'd say my reasons are to have a good experience. I mean, you can have I tend to think like...
But I think that's everybody
I think so too, but I mean, I find that perhaps it's like, if you're really social... Yeah, like if you're really social, maybe you could.
I was just commenting that you said "I find" and "perhaps" in the same sentence was pretty interesting.
Yeah, that was a little wishy-washy.
I thought it was more along the lines of Dr. Watson. You said "I find that perhaps if." I was thinking along those lines.
Like you could probably have a really good time talking to like an old lady, but usually I'm talking about like the crazy ladies at the supermarket. Those are the ones I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And those are the ones that I would think it'd be very difficult to have a good time with them. So I guess I'm using a rubric. I'm just stereotyping them. I'm like, you're talking to me. I can tell you're insane already because like you're making some weird comment that I don't want to talk about, or I don't want to be a part of your conversation. And so I already know that you're that kind of person.
Okay.
And I don't want to talk to you. So, but a lot of people are like not social. It takes a lot to sometimes have an enjoyable experience with sometimes you're creating the experience. You're going, this person, someone I might want to get to know or something. So you do more of the work. Other times you're like, I don't really want to work so hard. I want somebody else who's already got some basic social skills so I can have a good time without having to teach them how to act. So those are the kind of things I think when I'm interacting with people. I'm
okay,
like,
now let's talk.
Time or not? That's the standard.
Okay, let's talk about why you're even able to talk. Like we're recording this podcast. I made everybody aware that we're recording this podcast, and yet it sounds like you're freely able to have a conversation. Like the podcast recording equipment isn't even here. Yet the students are paralyzed with fear. They're not able to say anything. What is the difference?
What is
the difference?
The difference is that I've practiced, and so this doesn't seem like a big deal to me. Whereas to them, it's like going on stage.
You're putting them on stage.
Yeah, if you're like a musician and you've played for 10 years and you go on stage, it's not a very big deal. But even a musician who's played for a long time, who's never been on stage, it would be a big deal for. Or if you're new, it'd be a big deal. So with these guys, it's kind of like they're the new student. I don't really know of an analogous situation with social interaction where you interact with people, but you can't. I mean, I think there could be. If you have like a lot of social experience, but still like you're put in a completely new situation where it's like just you don't know what to do. Like let's say you always just like you're a frat guy, right? And you party a lot, and you go into like a business environment where everybody's behaving in a very different way.
Right. There's different social expectations. So you would be ruled by the social expectation, or even intimidated by the social expectation.
I mean, you would be unless you just didn't care, and then probably that wouldn't work out. It would depend on the situation. I mean.
So most people adapt to those type of situations.
I think people do adapt.
They use alcohol, drugs, whatever, to kind of like take off the edge or give them the liquid courage to take away the self-monitoring part. Because I think most of it is the self-monitoring part where you think, oh, there's something here recording me. I don't want to sound stupid. Whereas I don't really have that monitor. I mean, I'm aware of the thing going on right now, but I'm not monitoring myself. Like I have enough direction and enough practice where the monitoring is negligible. It doesn't hinder me because I know which way to go when I'm talking. I know what direction I'm going. It's not daunting. Whereas if I guess I was like a student, I didn't know what I was doing, it would be more daunting. I'd be worried about making a mistake here and going off here.
Thinking like,
you're going to correct me. I don't want to do it wrong. I'm not thinking you're going to.
I don't want to blow it.
Yeah. So
yeah, but you might say something that's inaccurate or off, and I've corrected it sometimes. I've said, well, you meant to say this, or this was slightly off.
But then if that's so, then I'll just go, okay, well.
Yeah, but why are you able to take the correction and they're not able to take the correction? What's the difference? Why are they paralyzed with the fear of the correction? You're like, oh, well, it could come, but I'm not going to be so intimidated by it.
Well, I'm not really worried about. Yeah, I'm not really worried about being wrong. I mean, either the reason I would be wrong is if I didn't really think through what I was even talking about, and that could.
But I think the fact that you put it right there, you're not worried about being wrong.
I'm not worried about being wrong.
Yeah, but why not? I think that's a huge component because these guys are worried about being wrong. Like even in the chat room, it's like it's a stupid chat room. There's
wrong enough. I've been wrong enough to where it's like it no longer bothers me.
To me, here's my mindset. Like when I'm in the chat room, I'm like, this is a chat room. This is so fucking stupid. We're typing words on a screen. And I guess you can attach certain emotions.
It's set up to be like you have to perform perfectly on your first try, otherwise you're fired or no one's gonna accept you. Like the whole system, everything in life is set up to go, hey, like be perfect or else.
Or you'll be ostracized.
Yeah,
fear
exactly.
of ostracization.
You'll be rejected by, like you'll do poorly in school if you don't ace this one, standardized test. Oh, you can't go to a good school. Or if you don't say the right thing to the girl, oh, she's gonna, throw a drink in your face or reject you. Or if you're not like the cool guy, like you're not gonna have any friends. Like all these things make people go, oh, I have to act perfect. Like better to like, what's that thing? Like it's worse to open your mouth and be a fool
and to open your mouth and remove all doubt about it.
Yeah, something like that. Like I mean, people genuinely live by that philosophy, whether they know it or not. A lot of people do.
Well, that's interesting because a lot of people open their mouth and say retarded things anyway.
Wow.
Even when they're like so sure, they're waiting for the careful moment to say something. I think the problem is they don't realize they're dysfunctional. They're disorderly. They have a disorder that hasn't been exposed yet.
Yeah, I mean, you really have to have someone come along and you have to be like, you're wrong. Like I remember you telling me, you're wrong, and I'd be like, okay, I can't defeat your argument. I must be wrong. And then, so eventually that became not a big deal anymore. I was like, okay, well, I beat you sometimes. I come up with stuff and you're like, yeah, I agree with you. Or you come up with things, I'm like, yeah, I agree with that. So it becomes it's more like a collaborative activity in figuring out what the right thing is or what the better thing is or what's right and wrong than, oh, you're wrong and that means you're a bad person. It's a different mindset.
A different mindset. Well, interesting. Okay, What about, let's see, we covered that, talking about mindset. What do you think goes on in their head? Talking about, making excuses. Let's cover that one. Because a lot of people, when you correct them, immediately they go to the excuses. They go to but I was doing this, well, I meant this, or I did this, when you told me this, and I thought it meant this. Like, they make excuses. Or they even go farther, they start doing distortions, making distortions about what was being said or what they said to try and get out of feeling bad about themselves, etc. Do you have anything to say about making excuses? And how they even hinder your social interaction when you make excuses?
Yeah. No, I don't have anything to say.
All right. Yeah, no. Okay. Longer sentences in the chat room. There's been a lot of chat fails. And I would say, it goes like we posted the chat room thread. I don't know if you bothered to read it. Okay. And we created a chat room video to kind of just illustrate the point that if you're asking, hey, what's up? How's it going? It's a fail to me because the point is not, we already know everybody. You should skip the formalities and get right to practicing your expression. Still, we have people all the time coming in, hey you, hey this, and they're waiting for the response and not just going right into the practicing their expression.
Like you really have to see an example enough to kind of have an idea of what to do, and they're still at the point where they haven't seen enough examples to be able to even imagine the sentence that they would put down.
That, I would say, is not true because they have, after the first tongue lashing, they started like going right into it and doing the long, and then it goes back in the cycle again. It's just not enough practice. Like it sinks in for like a week. And then slowly dissipates, and they go back to old habits. It's a training, really.
It's like going to the gym. Unless it's fun, nobody wants to go. That's why the gym sucks so bad, because you're like, I have to sit here and ride this treadmill for an hour. This is boring. But if you make it fun, like playing basketball, people are more apt to do it. I think the problem is with chatter, nobody in there is like, yeah, you're doing a good job. This is fun.
Yeah, but this is unlike the gym in that they can make it into a fun experience.
Yeah, but the thing is, they're like, it's like they're going to the gym by themselves, and they've got a bunch of people around them. That's like what the chatter is. They're like, we're here to work out.
there's a bunch of people around, but we're not going to talk to each other. We're going to all do like free weights by ourselves instead of like having a
group experience, like talking when you're doing something.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And doing something that makes it enjoyable. It's really like you have to have someone out there who's like, hey, join my group. And I think these people aren't used to like making their own groups, so
they're not used to the initiation. The initiation is really like a huge step, even though it's like a minor step in the grand scheme of things. Like initiation takes 1 second, and then you start the conversation. That's initiation. But just to take that one step is such a big thing for like the students or anybody. It prevents, like, if you don't take the initiation, and this guy is so scared to take the initiative to talk to you, it's like, who's going to volunteer to be open about themselves, right? Yeah, Bun will. Bun, go and volunteer. Whee! Bun wants to volunteer.
So.
Okay, let's go. But before we go, we got a text message from Bitches. It says, we cannot hang out tonight since we don't have a ride, which is bullshit. But we should do something this week and add me on Facebook if you're young enough. So basically, I basically do what I usually do. I post an experiment. I tried this a long time ago where I was going to see if you could express yourself. You know, most guys think, hey, I gotta have my guns huge. I gotta be worked out. I gotta be pumped. I gotta be ripped. I gotta be tall. I gotta be sexy. I gotta have my money right before girls will even pay attention to me. So this is all visual because guys, when they look at girls, they go, I like a hot girl, right? If a girl says, it sounds really great on paper, but you never see her, as a guy, you would go, I don't care how great she sounds on paper. I want to see what she looks like, right? Because we're very visual. So we kind of like transfer our values onto girls. Like we assume that girls think the same way. Like girls probably looking at me thinking, oh, your guns aren't ripped enough, or oh, you're not tall enough, you're not blonde enough, you're not this race, you're not that. But girls have like a totally different approach to that. How they're attracted to you. They're attracted to the authority and the order you create without authority. So what I did to prove this is I made it, like most people, if they post an ad or something on a dating site or somewhere, they put their picture with it. So I just said, you know what? Fuck that. I'm not putting any physical description of me. I'm not even going to talk about me. I'm just going to talk about what I expect, and I'm going to do it in a way that conveys my person. It conveys what type of person I am. And so it's going to convey my humor. I'm going to give them a stimulating experience while I'm talking about what I like. I'm going to make it funny, enjoyable, etc. Right? So I'm going to see, is it right? Will this attract people? Will it attract just crazy cat ladies, ugly people, etc.? And so I posted this thing, and I posted two different types of things. I posted one that was like totally super sweet, and then I posted one that was totally super like very demanding and not as sweet, I would say. Like one would stimulate you in the way of saying, I want to take you to the carnival and we'll have this magical experience going this and this and this. So it might have been more hokey or more traditional, but it still had that element of like describing everything and what I see this experience being, you could see that experience being. So I was very good at conveying the experience of what I wanted to happen. So it was like they're actually on the date with me in the experience. The other side was, I said, look, you can't be, I was very demanding. I said, like, you can't be a bitch, you can't be this, you can't be that, you can't be too fat. I don't want you if you're hit by a car. And I made it funny, but I put all these demands and things and said all the girls I didn't want. So I made it very unaccommodating, but still gave them the good experience, right, while they're going through it. And because I did that, I got good responses from both of them, and with no picture attached to either. So through that, it's not only been a lot for online sites. I would say majority of chicks are fatties, like you would expect. They're generally fatty and desirable chicks. But then there's that large portion of them which are average chicks, like you would date. Not terrible, not super models. And then there's I would say the 5% that are actually super hot. And of that percentage, we got some who were talking to, like the bitchy chicks. And those were the chicks who are generally, girls online are in the minority. I would say especially like on dating sites and dating things of that nature. So they're going to have a ton of guys responding to them. So they become bitchy almost just because the guys allow it, number one. And number two, because they can afford to be that way. Because they're in demand. It's like supply and demand economics. Like if there's one girl and there's 20 guys, they can pick and choose, right? Okay, so I want to know, what would your response be to this type of text? Like if somebody tells you, a hot girl tells you, hey, we can't hang out tonight, but we should, because we don't have a ride, but we should do something this week, and add me on Facebook if you're young enough to have one. So basically she's kind of, let's translate this for me. What's she saying? What's this part? Translate this last part. Add me on Facebook if you're young enough to have one. Facebook.
She's giving you her expectations.
Right. So what's your underlying message here with that?
The underlying message is, you're a creepy old man.
Don't be a creepy old man. You have to be a certain thing, okay? So how would you respond to it? Would you go, oh, let me post it? Or how would you, just tell me how you would respond to something like that. Demand from a hot chick.
I would be just tell her to fuck off.
Yeah, we know you can tell her to fuck off. Let's say you're trying to attract her. What would you do?
I think you would just simply ignore that, and you would just do the same thing back to her.
Give me an example.
Oh, you're just gonna do something like.
By the way, what is it?
I would be like,
ignoring it?
You could do so many things. You could be like, well, I'm only 83, but I still have Facebook. Is that okay? Does that meet your criteria? Right? Which is telling her like.
You're indirectly or dysfunctionally telling her you're an idiot, right? You're basically making fun of her. You're being sarcastic to her. You're basically letting her know her expectation isn't worth taking seriously.
Right. Or
but the ignoring part, people would think, I would think a student would go, I can't ignore that expectation, otherwise she's going to get mad. What does the ignoring do? If you ignore her thing.
Tells her that her expectation doesn't mean much to you.
It's worthless, okay?
It's like...
So you're applying pain to her expectation.
You're laughing at the fact that she tried to say...
You're laughing at her. You're just ignoring it. You're going, that's stupid, that whatever.
That's like the easiest way.
Okay. So your response would be just to basically sarcasm.
You can ignore it more by going by giving her your own expectation on something different. You can tell her like, hey, I personally think a chick like that going like, your message is dysfunctional and not appropriate. It's not going to get you very much mileage.
Yeah, I don't think you'd tell her that directly.
So in case guys out there think that's effective, that probably
well, that would go along the lines of explaining, or I should say justifying yourself to her. Like saying, hey, your thing is...
any acknowledgement is going to give her some level of power. Like, even if you're like, that's rude, she's still like, I affected you. So
I'm in charge.
To ignore it is, I think, the best bet for a chick like that. I mean, that's based on what I would
So you would either sarcastically answer that, or you could even go, sometimes I just like to flip it around. Like I would say, oh, is this another babysitting thing? I gotta take care of a young kid. Does this mean I have to bring you diapers?
Right.
Or I would just tell them it's retarded. Like Facebook is for retards, for nerds and dorks. I would just make their thing that they're making into something wonderful into something bad. I would just I'm big on creating what they think is a good social expectation. I'm big on creating that or turning that into a bad social expectation. Like over the phone, they were talking earlier about clubs. Like they say, "Do you guys party? You're cool. You go to clubs, right?" And I immediately said, "Clubs are for fucking idiots. You have to only retarded people who don't have fun go to clubs. Clubs are stupid." But I don't just say no to this. I also say, here's the direction you should go in. I say, you need to get outside. You need to do this. You need to do this. This is fun. So while I'm saying this is a stupid social expectation which you gave, which you think is cool, I just said this is totally stupid. I said, but you should be doing this. So I'm cutting off I'm trying to undermine their social expectation and give them the new one.
Yeah, I totally agree with that because I think that would be my more common response in person with a person I know who's like, how come you're not on Facebook? I'm like, are you kidding? Facebook's fucking stupid. Like, everybody is on there creating a whole bunch of drama and pretending that they're important.
Right, so you basically just disapprove. Yeah, you basically just either you start ridiculing the expectation, making it into a shunned.
So even if they still use Facebook because they can't get away, at least their attempt to like.
Now they're not going to come to you with that expectation and go, hey, look, you should be on Facebook because they're going to know you think this is retarded, so they're worried about losing the approval. They're like, oh, he doesn't like Facebook. I want to be thought of as stupid.
I think that would be my more common response, just instinctively, than to do like that more sarcastic. Like
it just depends. Sometimes I do. Like she said, like, the first time she asked me like how old you are, I just immediately told her I'm 90. I walk around in a walker usually. I just tell her like
yeah, exactly.
My balls are really saggy right now. Got a lot of wrinkles on them.
Yeah,
and I talk about Social Security and stuff. So I just basically mock and ridicule her.
The economic cutback.
The cutbacks
is really hurting my Social Security.
Yeah, I was
at the movie theater. They have this deal where you can go all day for $6.
I like the senior citizen Denny special.
So
I basically mock her and ridicule her to the point where she's just like, "Oh, I don't want to feel so fucking stupid again." Like I make it sharp and immediate.
You just keep on going on and on.
Yeah, I'll go over like 10 minutes on that, and they'll realize, wow, I don't want to do that again because I don't want to have that painful experience of feeling that stupid.
Funny.
Okay, so that's kind of like a gist of the mindset, I guess, and how you would handle bitches. Anything else? Longer sentences in the chat room. Practice your expression. Blah blah blah. Initiate. Yeah, we already talked about it last week. Okay, I think we covered anything. Any parting things from any of the students?
I can't create quick sharp pain like you do, so I'll just stay with ignore.
Another fucking fail, retarded response from Boggles. He just said he can't do that, so he'll just do this instead. In lieu of being confident, he'll just do what he can. And the reason why he says that is because, of course, the answer we always give him, he never practices. So Don't end up like him. Practice. Practice. You can get there. Just practice. Thank you for joining Manhood Academy Podcasting. Boop, boop, boop.
Peace out!
Peace out!